Hey, do you guys want to see something cool? Welcome to another episode of Your Favorite Libertarian. I'm your host, your favorite libertarian, and today we're going to be talking about the Streamlight TLR-7 sub. Time for another YouTube shield check. This light was purchased by my own money, not given me by anyone, any vendors, or the manufacturer of this light. I don't have any official relationship with Streamlight, I just dig their products and wanted to check this out. I currently own the TLR-1HL and also the Polytech X, both of which have been reviewed on my channel. Links to the flashlight playlist in the description below, and also will be a card at the end of this video if I have room. And now, a word from our sponsors. I don't have any, it's just me. And now it's time for everyone's favorite portion of the video, what's in the box? This is the portion of the video where I show you what's in the box. First off, here is the packaging itself. Lets you know it fits the 1913 short-railed subcompact handguns. And even on the back, it gives you a list of what those guns are. Gives you some specs here. We'll get more into that a little bit later. But this is the packaging that it comes in. As far as the contents go, we have 4 adapter keys, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These allow you to have this light work with a bunch of different subcompact handguns listed in the owner's manual. Number 4 actually works really well for the Walther PPS, which is why I have that one installed. But I think originally when I got this, it had, I think, the number 3 key in there, if you care about that kind of thing as far as how it originally comes. Of course, you have the light itself. It also comes with a Streamlight Sarah 123A battery, a little pushing tool for the keys, a Streamlight strong marketing material, and the owner's manual. This owner's manual is really nice, really detailed. I'll go through it really quick so you can see everything in it. First, you have a little key of your short keys, so you know what goes to what. They're numbered just like they were numbered on the keys. That number coincides with what model of what gun it works with. You have a bunch of warnings, and I'll let you just go through this and pause as you need to. There you go. As far as battery installation goes, it's pretty straightforward. It is tip down insertion. So the tip will go down, positive end down, negative side up, and then you'll just, you guessed it, screw it on. What's nice about this light is that you can actually take the battery out from the bezel, as opposed to the TLR-1HL, where there's a hinge door in the back and you have to take all this off. This allows you to take this off without taking it off the gun if you want, or just makes it easier to take the batteries out in general if you have it off. This particular light also has a lockout mode. If you turn this counterclockwise till you feel the detent, this will lock the light and make it so you don't accidentally discharge it. Is that good? Is that bad? Up to you. Changing out these adapter keys is pretty simple. Just unscrew this screw, pull this piece off, make sure you don't lose this little retainer guy here, and then put a new key in. Basically just repeat that process in reverse, put this back on, tighten this back down, and you are good to go. Number 4 is what I found to work the best with the Walther PPS, Gen 1 or M1 if you will. But if you have one of these exact handguns, it will tell you which one you need to use for which gun. The light host for this video is going to be the Walther PPS M1 in 9mm. As you can see, not a whole lot of space on this rail, which is why I'm glad that Streamlight came out with this particular light. The only other light that I've found that works with this exact gun is an Olight PL Mini Valkyrie 2. So that's another option for you if you decide to go the Olight route. Now we'll go ahead and put the light on this gun. Before we do that, let's make sure it's unloaded. And empty chamber, no magazine in the gun. We are good to go there. To depress this screw, you'll notice with the TLR-7 sub, much like the TLR-1HL, that there is a little spring to its step. It has a little spring in here that makes it so once it's clamped on, that spring pushes this piece into the side of the rail, keeping pressure and keeping it wanting to stay on as opposed to just having a screw in there and hoping that it doesn't walk loose. So in order to install this, you need to push down on the screw head, line your key up with the cut in the rail. If possible, don't actuate the light. And then once that's lined up, you're gonna go ahead and start tightening by hand. And then once it's getting too tight to where you can't tighten it by hand anymore, you're going to either grab a loose round, like so, or you can use a screwdriver or something else. Now it's Sharpie paint pen time. It's always a good idea to witness mark any screws that you have to make sure nothing's walking loose on you. Actuation of the light is pretty easy. Clicking real quickly for constant on, holding down for momentary and letting go. And it's the same on both sides. So strobe for this light is automatically disabled, but if you want to enable strobe, all you have to do is click one of these buttons, doesn't matter which, 10 times rapidly, and that 10th time hold it down until the light turns off. And they say in the instructions that you want to start with it in the off position, not meaning that this is turned, this should be on so it can actually like still work as a light, but you're going to start it without the light on. And now the light has turned off. We'll see if strobe works. And strobe unfortunately does work. If you want to disable that, all you have to do is repeat that same process to get back to no strobe. I guess if you want to go to strobe, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would just leave it in its factory setting. But now you know how to change it if you want to. Now, a question I'm wanting to have answered, and I'm sure you're wanting to have answered since this is not on the approved list of guns to mount this flashlight onto, is will this flashlight stay on when I start shooting this gun? There's only one way to answer that question. We need to shoot this gun. Wait a minute, did you guys want a beam comparison? Oh, really? Alright, so we are now in a small room with just the overhead light on, with a beigeish background wall. We have a bad guy, which is an action figure right here. He's got a weapon, he's mean looking. We also have a distance of about maybe a couple yards-ish. We're going to first demonstrate if you're in a well-lit area, what's going to break through ambient lighting, what kind of effects is it going to have. thoughts. Is the TLR-7 sub better than the full-size pistol lights that we compared it to in today's review? No, not even close. Is this light the best option for a gun this size and the size of the other subcompacts in the list in the owner's manual? Why, yes it is. All right, let's break this down to pros and cons, because that just seems like a good way to break it down. First con is going to be holster compatibility. There is none for this particular option because I just thought of it. But for the guns on the list, there might be some. Streamlight might have gone to different manufacturers of holster and said, hey, we're going to have this particular light. It's going to work with these particular guns. If you could start making holsters, that'd be great. And also probably further down the line, as this light gains popularity, there will be more factory options from different holster manufacturers. Otherwise, though, you're going to have to go the custom route. Another con is going to be that it's not a super lumen monster or candela monster, especially compared to the different lights out today for the larger pistols. I will caveat that by saying, is this light better than no light at all because no other light really fits on this gun? Yes, yes it is. Speaking of fitting on this gun, let me show you the witness marks that I made previously in the video. You saw in the range footage that this did not come flying off, but you can see that it walked out a little bit. Now, I did not put any Loctite or any type of Loctite material or Vibratite material on these threads. This is just tightening it down with a spare round. I'm sure if I did put anything like that on it, it wouldn't move at all. It's a very tight, secure fit. So there's your data point on that. I should also note that what I used for ammunition for those shots that you saw was Federal 147 grain HSTs. Those are hollow points. And while a lot of 147 grain is subsonic, this stuff is not. So it is coming out with some force and some mass out of this little tiny gun. Let's talk about the pros. First up for the pros are these switches. These are very intuitive, very clicky, very positive, very easy to use switches, and they're in a really good placement for this particular gun. And I would venture to guess most other subcompact guns that are on that list. You saw in the specs how light this is. I want to say 2.4 ounces. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but I think that's what it said in the spec sheet. Super light. Runtime is very respectable at 1.5 hours, and it takes a very common CR123A battery. The mounting system is very robust and is very adaptable. With those 4 keys that you get, you can fit most of the subcompact handguns out there, and even some ones that you weren't sure about. Now you know. This last one is a huge stretch. I don't have any insider information on this. I don't work for Streamlight, but I feel like with my feelings that with this being a removable head, it lends itself to some Modlite possibilities. And I don't mean that you'd be able to put Modlite heads on here. I mean that you could have different heads from Streamlight that could potentially come out in the future as upgrades to increase the lumen output, the candela output, maybe have some IR capabilities. I don't know, but I feel like with this design, they might be thinking ahead in that direction. I hope. Well, that's going to do it for me in my review on the TLR-7 sub. If you like this video, do me a big favor and do all the YouTube algorithm stuff. You know what all this stuff is. Let YouTube and the YouTube overlords know that this is the type of content that Americans want to see, regardless of what the mainstream narrative would tell them. And as always, thanks for watching, stay free,